The Namibia Oil and Gas Conference was founded in 2023 in response to growing calls from civil society for direct access to the oil and gas sector. From its inception, the conference has championed local content, local participation and accessibility, giving the opportunity to build capacity, become partners on the various projects and grow with the industry. Now hosted by the Economic Association of Namibia in partnership with the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board and the Hans Seidel Foundation, with the strategic partnership of the National Petroleum Corporation of Namibia and SNC Incorporated, to unpack the 2025 theme from exploration to action, positioning Namibia as the next energy frontier. We are joined telephonically by Jason Kasuto, who's the chairperson of the Economic Association of Namibia, and he will be engaging us on the social economic impact of strategic dialogue platforms such as the Namibia Oil and Gas Conference and how it shapes the country's energy future. Good morning, Mr. Kasuto, and thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Please talk to us about the objectives of the Namibia Oil and Gas Conference and its evolution since 2023.
Thank you. I think to put it in a nice nutshell, the evolution has really been about deepening our objectives. Our objectives have remained consistent because we believe in the principles on which we started the conference with. So it's really centered around access, transparency, empowerment, and networking. So what we have believed in principle when we started as an Economic Association of Namibia, we started with the principle that we need to deepen, and each year we must make it even much more deeper in terms of the access to information around this new industry. Many people out there are asking a lot of questions. We are aware that there are other conferences that, in my view, are very complementary, and we create a very nice ecosystem. But all our segments of society need to receive access. There needs to be level of transparency. We need to be able to empower our citizens and then also create the necessary networks in order for our citizens, our young people, and our small to medium enterprises will be able to take opportunities out of that networking from. And those really, in a nutshell, are objectives and how they've evolved.
Very well. Now, looking at the previous engagements from the conference, would you say that these have contributed to any tangible shifts in the national energy policy or even some of the regulatory frameworks?
Well, I can definitely say that we have been graced from the first conference with a high-level leadership of government, from the Prime Minister to ministers to deputy ministers to executive directors and members of parliament at each event. What we do believe, based on our engagements with each of them at each of the events, is that the conference has contributed greatly to enriching their minds in terms of key policy decisions that they need to take. I recall our advocating for the vendor system to be established, where the Ministry of Mines could provide a vendor system for SMEs to be able to be vetted and for the oil companies to be able to get access to vetted SMEs through a platform such as that. We don't want to attribute that to our dialogue. It is obviously something that the ministry has been able to do, but we do believe that our platform does its contribution in enriching the minds of policymakers to the possibilities that are out there.
Apart from the aspect of policy and regulatory frameworks, I want us to now look at the socio-economic opportunities. Have they emerged at all as a result of this conference?
I believe so, and so does my fellow team and the directors. So from a socioeconomic point of view, what the platform has done, I'll start with one aspect, the masterclasses. The conference itself is preceded by a day of master classes. I like what the visiting Indian Prime Minister of India said yesterday, that the only currency is capacity building and capacity. So we start off with master classes, and they are accessible to the public, where we've got key experts, international, local, who are able to share across various topics, from technical to not so technical, around the oil and gas industry to provide the necessary capacity through the master classes. The other thing is that we've got the SME Exhibition Center. And this allows for SMEs in the space, both local and international, to showcase what they do and what they can offer the industry. The demand has grown so much that this year we're going to enlarge the exhibition space and to allow for more of our local businesses to be able to showcase. This year, we are dedicating, due to demand, a full day to business networking, where we tone down on the conference, and on the last day we have a B2B networking platform. All of these three components that I mentioned, the master classes, the SME exhibition, the B2B networking, aim to be able to ensure that our local economic development remains key within those discussions and the results thereof.
How is Namibia preparing its citizens, especially the youth and professionals, to actively participate in the operational and technical phases of the oil and gas value chain?
Look, we do see some activity taking place, but we need to be conscious and alive to the fact that we need to do more. We need to really intentionally ensure that our youth are equipped with skills, especially at a vocational level, to be absorbed in the industry. I think one thing that the industry is very clear about, and I think that we should be also very clear about, is that the industry is not going to create the big numbers of jobs that people may think. I mean, we've seen the industry baseline study. However, the value chains, the businesses that support the industry have got a big, what we call the multiplier effect. In the industry alone, the vocational skills that are needed, whether it's on the rigs and so on, should be fulfilled by Namibians. And for that, you would need your vocational training centers in places like Luderitz and in Walfish Bay that equips our young people to be able to participate in that. And at the end of the day, maybe start their own businesses that provides supply and support to the industry. So therefore, and that is why we say we cannot have we cannot have enough engagements and dialogues and platforms such as the National or the Namibian Oil and Gas Conference. It's important that we talk, we realize, we look at our situation, and we talk to partners that can partner meaningfully with Namibians in order to fill the gap that's needed so that our young people are able to equip themselves and participate in the value chain.
Given that we don't have enough time left for our conversation, could you please talk to us about, how this conference has contributed to Namibia positioning itself as a frontline or attractive player in the oil and gas industry, but from a global perspective?
Absolutely. On average, we have attracted over 500 international delegates, right? Our speakers are leaders in oil and gas, in the oil and gas sectors, both locally and internationally. That alone shows that the voices that speak at this conference are voices that have got an influence on the industry at an international platform. And by virtue of that, and of course, the way our beautiful country hosts and the way that our team hosts the conference at that level, position us at that frontier, or tries to at least contribute to positioning us to that frontier. But we believe that the team is doing an amazing job, and we've attracted top decision makers to the conference for that very purpose.
Very well. In conclusion, what is the official process for individuals or organizations that are interested in participating or attending at the Namibia Oil and Gas Conference?
The easiest is to get to our website. I'll speak plainly. Go on Google, type Namibia Oil and Gas Conference. You'll see our link right at the top. You click on that link. All the information will be on the website. We've made it easy for registration and so forth. For the international guests, the 31st of July becomes the last day for early registration. we also would like our local participants to also be mindful of that date. But yes, you can register thereafter. My only caution is, and we've said this year on year, is that due to the numbers, we currently already have over 1,000 delegates who have registered. Please register as soon as possible so we don't sit with a situation where we are oversubscribed and we cannot accommodate more. So we encourage especially our local people to register as soon as possible, get to the Namibia Oil and Gas website.
Mr. Kasuto, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right. That was Jason Kasuto, who's the chairperson of the Economic Association of Namibia, and he was engaging us on the Namibia Oil and Gas Conference, really touching on some of the highlights from the 2023 edition and also what is a little bit to be expected in 2025 as registration has begun for that conference. We will be back. Please stay tuned.